All right, let's dive into one of the most powerful and, let's be honest, pretty disturbing poems in the AQA Love and Relationships cluster, Charlotte Mew's The Farmer's Bride. We're going to break down the story, pull apart some key quotes, and really get to grips with the big ideas you'll need for your analysis.
Okay, so the whole poem is what we call a dramatic monologue. That just means we only ever hear from one person, in this case, the farmer. And it all starts with this line. Now listen to that word chose. He didn't fall in love with her, he didn't court her, he chose her. It sounds like he's picking out an animal at the market, right? And right from that very first line, we get this really chilling, possessive vibe.
So what is the fundamental problem here? Well, the poem doesn't waste any time. It shows us right from the get-go why this marriage is basically doomed from the start. And the writer behind this is Charlotte Mew. Her own life was, sadly, full of tragedy and a sense of being trapped. And you can really see that in her work. She often gives a voice to people who feel totally isolated, which is exactly what she's doing here with our farmer. This slide really lays the whole problem bare. What he wanted was so simple, so practical. He even admits he was too busy to bide and woo, to hang around and be romantic. But what did he get? A bride who is terrified, not just of him, but of love and of all things human. It's a complete mismatch. The way he talks about her is just so revealing. A fae, that's an old word for a fairy. Think about what that means. He doesn't see her as a real woman, not really. To him, she's this wild, magical, fragile thing that he just can't understand and definitely can't control. Okay, so all of this tension has been building, and now it's about to explode into the poem's most dramatic moment. Her fear gets so bad that she runs, and what follows is this desperate chase across the fields. And this detail is absolutely crucial. When she runs away, where does she go? She doesn't head to the next village. She runs to the sheep. She feels safer with animals than she does with her own husband. She's choosing the natural world over the human one every single time. This simile here is just incredible, and it perfectly captures the terrifying power dynamic. Like a hare. Suddenly, she's not a wife anymore. She's prey. And the farmer and his men, they're the hunters, cutting through the dark with their lanterns. It's such a frightening image of capture. And this is the moment it all becomes final. The hunt is over. That word fast means securely, tightly. She is now, quite literally, a prisoner. He's locked her in the very house she was so desperate to escape. So what happens now? The chase is over, sure, but the real conflict is just beginning. They're now stuck in this weird, silent stalemate. She's there in the house, physically, but emotionally, she's a million miles away. And the evidence of how she's feeling is all over the farm. You can see she's only happy when she's with birds and rabbits. Her eyes are constantly pleading with him to keep his distance, and her voice, he's barely even heard it. She's become like a ghost in her own home. The tragic thing is, he isn't blind. He can see her beauty, but listen to how he describes her, like a young hare, a leveret, or a young tree. It's always nature. He can appreciate her wild self, but it just makes him feel even more lonely. And that question he asks, but what to me, it's just dripping with sadness and frustration. All right, we're heading into the final section. All that frustration that's been simmering under the surface for 3 years, well, it's about to boil over into this really powerful and deeply unsettling climax. This setting here is so important. The poem suddenly shifts into the dead of winter. You've got this bleak, dying landscape, and it's the perfect mirror for the farmer's own dying hope. The coldness outside reflects the coldness inside his home and in his heart. And this line, it's just heartbreakingly simple. She's alone, he's alone, and the only thing physically separating them is a staircase. But that small space represents this enormous, uncrossable emotional canyon between them. It's absolute torture for him. And here it is. This is the moment his control completely shatters. That cry, oh my God, it's a total breakdown. His calm, storytelling voice is gone, and it just explodes into this raw, physical expression of all his pent-up desire and frustration. The poem ends right here, on this intense, obsessive repetition. That focus on her hair, feels so frantic, almost unhinged. It just leaves us hanging with this awful, unsettling feeling that he's completely lost control, and we're left to wonder, what happens next?
So here's the big question you need to take away for your analysis. The farmer is the one speaking. We hear his voice the whole time. But is this really his story? Or is the real, more powerful story found in the bride's total silence, in the unspoken terror of a girl who's been trapped and has no voice at all? That tension, right there, is what makes this poem so unforgettable.